What's up, everybody? How you guys doing? Welcome back to another episode of Content is King, the wonderful podcast that is hosted by me. I guess, you know, the decently awesome Kilohmz. Now, I am going to be coming to you guys with Jacob, one of my mods, as well as he's a marketing student. Currently, well, he's it's business?
Yeah, business administration.
Business administration.
And marketing.
With a concentration in marketing. Now, Jacob has been one of the kind of people who helps me out a lot with my brand stuff and stuff like that. I've been working pretty hard on trying to figure out what my brand is and coming up with all those things. I actually took a brand archetype test that's out there and basically got hero, everyman, and lover. Basically just the fact that it's the down home culture, friendships, and trying to help others. Were the three things in my level of dominance. And I actually have the archetype stuff for the hero up on screen if you guys are watching. Otherwise, if you guys are just listening to the podcast like normal, well, we are here for you. So they also have like your promise, your core desire, your goal, your fear, your strategy, your gift, and motivation. And what goes on there. And it's actually kind of nice because it kind of lets me see and gets a better idea of what my brand is. We're also going to be working on a social media marketing plan. There's one that is... Yo, Diffuse, thank you for sharing for the stream. I appreciate it. Guys, I am live again. I happen to be recording another one of these live. So, where we're going to talk about our social media marketing plan. We're going to talk about the stream analytics stuff that I've been doing between the three platforms. And then last, we're probably we could bring up the business plan, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
We could look at that too. And that would be the last thing I think we'd look at, the swole analysis. Which we... What did we say swole meant again?
Oh shoot!
I think it's at the bottom of the page. It was really good. It was a really good one. So,
strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and then
what was the L? It was the L.
Well, it's supposed to be a T, and T is supposed to be threats, and we didn't have. That's not a thing.
Yeah, threat doesn't make sense. What did we come up with for the L? This is why I said to write it down, and I wrote it down, and now that's the problem.
I'm gonna find it. I need to look at it. Swole analysis.
Yeah, because we have everything but that, right? Yeah, we're prepared. Oh, and I'm not gonna add any of it out. It's okay. No, it's not on here, by the way. I was looking on that. I was hoping to be able to like open up my notes list, but I can't seem to do so.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyway, it's not. We'll get there. All right. So let's take a look at this stuff. Where do you want to start with this all? Because we could look at the analytics, I guess. Analytics basically go all over the place. If we're gonna throw those out there. Actually, funny enough, I am gonna be giving these analytics to a coworker. For them to use in their statistics class, to see if there's anything they could learn about growth from it. But there's really not much growth because there's a lot of scattering around, and nothing that's a substantial growth more than a couple days. So it's a lot of peaks and valleys, which just goes to show you guys, streaming is a very fickle business. Like, these are stats of mine from Mixer, Twitch, and Facebook beginning December 3rd. And there's a lot of up and down. Especially in Facebook, there's been a lot of up and down, trying to learn how to get that to work and getting to grow and meet people and understand with people and stuff like that. And that connecting has been tough. Twitch is Twitch. It hangs around 1 or 2 because that's Twitch. And then Mixer goes up and down, and it really just depends on whether or not you're getting hosted by people or stuff like that. Now, my general max hit throughout the night has been around 20 to 25, which is pretty good, but my average has been much lower. Actually, if you open up, there's this really good site called arsenal.gg. Yo, Core, thank you so much for the host, dude. I appreciate it. If you go, arsenal.gg is very wonderful thing. I log in with my Mixer directly. It's nice. All that stuff. You can actually see what your general stats are, and so my average viewers as of late is 12, which has gone down from when we last talked about it, but that's the way it be. And so you can actually take a look at every individual stream and everything like that and be like, oh, hey, look, I've been going for 4 hours and 20 minutes. What's my average? Oh, it's 14, you know, had some nights where it's 7, jumping around, because I've been jumping around to different things for a while. Also taking time for Christmas break and stuff like that. So there's lots of factors that go into it. I've also been working on a business plan for the past 3 years, 2-3 years, ever since I've been on Mixer, because it's been something that's been mattering to me. Because when you go and you look at like the brand archetype, the motivation for somebody who is the hero type, their big thing is mastery, wanting to be the best and being as competent as possible, which is honestly what I want. I want to be able to help other people. I want to be able to use what I've learned to help other people and give them maybe information in a way that they might not have received it before, or something like that along those lines, which is generally the idea. But setting up a brand and stuff like that is such a pain. And so coming down and really deciding what your brand is a massive thing. And you also have to look a lot of times at what could you change? Like Jacob and I were talking in DMs about my face cam. Like literally taking my green screen, putting it down, so then I don't even have to worry about the lighting for the green screen. And I have my collectibles on shelves or something like that behind me in rearranging, which is a lot of work to rearrange rooms, just so you guys are aware. But we could make it work and clean it up and stuff like that. On the bright side, he's coming home this weekend, so that's good for me. So yes, I guess the good question is, where do we want to start with this all?
Do we want to answer the questions?
We could answer the questions. Yeah, let's start there then.
Okay, let's see. Am I able to actually? All right.
Sorry, I forgot that I had to start my stopwatch, because that's my stopwatch,
okay.
My stopwatch app.
Part of the reason why I asked you if you were moving in the soon future was the background change. Because if you were moving, then it would kind of have been like a waste, like to change your background if you were going to move. Yeah,
what's the point in doing that? I would like to move, but at the same time, like whenever I move, I'm going to end up having to, like, I probably would have to change my background anyway, right? Or I could have the better opportunity to change it. I would like to move out. Currently, with the way that my job stands and where my current bills and whatnot lie, I can't actually afford to move out. I can't afford to move because of how much money I make as a teacher. Which is a problem in and of its own right, right? Yeah, it's just, and that's the way it is. Like, that's just the way it be sometimes. I really do. So I guess I would like to, but I don't have the opportunity currently to do so.
Yeah. So would background 1 be the better of the option, you think?
Oh, here, let me show you guys all these backgrounds real quick.
Okay, so for background knowledge, so the first background is a FIFA YouTuber, but his background has like 2 things to do with FIFA itself.
Here it is. Yeah, here's his background.
So that would be it. It would just be a shelf with like collectibles on it, and you can change it. However, Christmas time, you can put Christmas lights around it. Halloween, you can put spider webs and stuff.
The other one that's a really good one is Shrouds, having the open area, seeing chat. I actually really like the idea of seeing chat and stuff like that. I don't know why, but I like that. Because it's similar to actually how Gathalion was doing his. I kind of like that idea. And I like the stuff that's in the background. So
it's different. It's different than the frontal cam. It's a little side view.
It's a little bit of a side view, which I don't know. I think the side view, it shows me and you can see my reactions. And I can look up still at you guys, but like it lets me be engrossed in what I'm doing with you instead, which is a little different.
See, it's weird though, because the way he has it set up there, you almost never look at the face cam. I know he does. He doesn't look at the face cam really. He has something that's under it that he looks at every once in a while, I think. But he mainly never looks at it. He always either is looking straight ahead at the screen of the game or at the chat, but he never really, he'll like turn and look at whatever's underneath it to answer whatever's on chat, but he will never really look directly.
He never looks directly at it.
That's a problem.
That is a problem, and you want to avoid that because you want to be looking at chat like you want. Yeah, that's tough. I don't know which one we choose. I think we'd have to find out which one works best. And I am sorry for the audio listeners. So the audio listeners, there's one that's your standard frontal camera with shelves behind you, and the other one is Shroud's current setup where it has a camera up at an angle going down at him, which is a lot different of a style. It's a very unique style, but it's different.
The second one you could do if you moved your desk into like a corner and then you put like posters or things like that behind you.
Like if I
But,
turned my desk like 90 degrees.
Yeah, you literally, in the corner that it's in, you could literally just flip it around.
Turn it,
have enough
turn it
space
90
to
degrees,
move
move
in and
all the
out.
stuff that's out from under it, turn it, and then...
And then, you could just put up posters behind you.
Yeah.
Which you have a lot of those, too.
I do. I have
They're
posters that
little
sit
big.
around and stuff. See, I like the idea of having my collectible shelf just because there are, like, how many I have. I really like that idea.
That's why I was thinking of that one the most, because of the stuff that you do have. You can change it all the time. You can have people, they can have different things. If somebody sends you something in the mail or something, you could put that up there. You can change it during the seasons.
Put
Christmas.
like have certain things that get like put into like frames and stuff that I could hang up and stuff too. Yo, Gur, thank you so much for that hot host, dude. I appreciate it. Coming in while we're talking about branding, marketing, and stuff like that. So yeah, that's a cool thing, the camera stuff. So let's I guess then let's dive into these questions other than the background ones. We kind of talked about it.
Yeah. Okay, so for like your channel, do you think your growth overall has been kind of on par with what we talked about a long time ago?
So my growth par, it fluctuates so much. Like peak viewers, I think has been astronomical, and I never would have expected it to. Like, there's that part, right? Like the humble part where you're like, oh, I never thought I'd get that many viewers ever. But at the same time, it's like I can't seem to keep people as much as I'd like. And I think that's kind of the interesting thing is, like, if I look at the past year and my metrics, right? Like, well, and I look at my statistics, like it's grown. Like, yeah, I've gone from like having 5 or 6 to 12, which has been great growth. But at the same time, it's not really enough to keep up with other, it's not enough to keep up with other people, which that's the thing, right? Like, that's why we talk about this. That's why Jacob and I talk about this stuff a lot, is because we want to be able to find growth that's working. Because there's a lot of people that believe in my content, and I want to be able to make that content worthwhile for them. For the people that do believe in it and look at me and yell at me that when I say, oh, I can't, or I'm not good enough, I have people that actively get mad at me for that. So it's one of those things that I do want to work with and get better with, because I need to work on my confidence. That's another big thing. Like, I've had people that literally, they're like, look, I'm not telling you because I'm your buddy. I'm telling you because I honestly watch I ingest enough content. You've got the content. It's just a matter of being confident and believing that you've got the content, which is the thing. I'm very troubled with my confidence. So believing that I have the content and that I'm bringing worth, even if it's the same thing or it's something different than other people are saying, that I'm bringing worth to you. And that's the biggest thing. And the other big thing is I freaking need the guy I want to be my editor to just agree to be my editor. And that would make my life so much easier, because I could record all the content I wanted at that point, and I would just be like, oh yes, just gonna give you content. I just need 2 videos out a week.
Yeah, which brings me to point number 2 of this is what we got to figure out, what set of games are like,
so
you would consider your strong.
I have found that games like Anthem and Destiny, basically what I would define as hero shooters.
Yeah,
I would say that, which I guess action role play. Yeah, action role play is really good, I guess, but shooter role plays. Those games are the games that fit well with my mantra and do very well with what I do, because getting the different abilities, having magic or whatever it is, like that stuff, having the different abilities and stuff, it gives me a chance to switch up my play styles. It prolongs a game for me. And it lets me have more stuff. And like, that's why I like the idea of Warframe, but I'm not thrown on Warframe's play style as much. But that's the thing that I like the idea. I like the multiple frames. I like that idea. I'm hoping that Anthem 2.0, Anthem Next, if you will, right? Because it's supposed to be like No Man's Sky Next. I'm hoping that idea will bring more javelins, will bring more playstyle, will bring more abilities and stuff into the game. As well as more content, because that game just needed more content. So
yeah,
but that's what I guess is shooter RPGs, action shooter RPGs, hero RPGs.
Yeah, like Anthem, Destiny.
Yeah,
games of that nature. Yeah,
Warframe, Anthem, and Destiny would be the style of game I would say.
Yeah, I think what's helped you the most on Destiny is your game knowledge.
Oh yeah, if I sit down and I play the game, I have massive game knowledge. I just do.
And that's a good thing to have too, because you also got to find the defining feature that makes you stand out from the next dude.
And I think that the big thing is finding a way to take my teaching, but I don't want to teach physics. I want to be able to teach people, but I want to teach people content, and I want to teach people about games that I enjoy, that we can come together with. That's what I want to do. And that's what I'd like to do, which it'll be great when I tell Jacob he has to go back and watch it so he can take notes on what I've said.
Yeah.
But I guess that's where I'm at. I want to be able to do those things. I think my best content is going up to people and being able to give them quality style content. Give them quality content that's helpful and teaches them something, as well as pushes them forward to do other things, right? I think that's probably the best thing that I can do for people. So
yeah.
Also, this is an interesting game. Godfall, I need to watch later, so I've just pulled that up. That's if anybody that's watching is like, why is he pulling up Godfall? It's because I have not watched the stuff on it, and I got tagged to watch it, and I just don't want to forget, because it looks like it could be another hero-based RPG that I could play and get into. So, in all honesty, if I could find a shooter MMO, that would probably be the game for me. Like WoW, but shooter would probably be perfect, because I could have as many characters as I wanted, sit around and do those things. That would be
the closest is like Destiny, to be honest. I think that's really.
It's not even. That's not even a real MMO. We can't talk about. That's not a real.
I know,
MMO.
but I think it's the closest.
Yeah, if Destiny, Anthem, and WoW had a baby,
yeah,
I would be good. I'd be set. I would be set. With a pay system like Warframe, like, oh my gosh, I would be done. But yeah, no, if I could find a shooter MMORPG, that would be the way to go.
Yeah, and
like apparently Division's counted as an MMO.
Yes,
Apex is considered an MMO. Those aren't. So I could try out Division 2, but I feel like Division doesn't have enough fantasy in it for it to hold me.
I have the disc, so if I come, I can give it to you.
Okay, yeah, I don't mind trying it.
I think I have the disc.
I don't mind trying it. Again, I like the idea of Destiny and Anthem, because you have such like futuristic. I like the futuristic games. I grew up on Halo. I didn't grow up on COD.
Yeah, well, it's a realistic, futuristic idea in Division. That's the thing. It's realistic, but it's also very futuristic.
Very true. That's
because
true.
You have all kinds of abilities and stuff that are like these like drones that you can put on the ground that seek enemies and blow up when they find them, and cluster bomb, and different abilities. There's like a medic class, there's a support class, there's an assault class. It's all on how you want to play, which is good. It's basically a shooter MMO. It's third person, which is nice sometimes, but there's a lot of character customization. There's a crap ton of stuff to do in the game, including DLC and stuff with season passes.
Yeah,
all that stuff is basically hits all the criteria of what you would want. It's futuristic. It's got futuristic aspects, but it's also a realistic game. It's a very well-made game with good graphics and good progression through the story. A bunch of abilities that you can rework at any time you want to. And it's multiplayer.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if it has like crossover saves or anything like that. I'm not sure. I haven't really been kept up with the game. I had it, I beat the game, and then I haven't played any of the new stuff on it.
Yeah.
but I grinded a lot in that game. It was definitely better than the first one, I think, because they just kind of made everything was. The first one was good. I liked it, but it had a lot of problems, and they kind of cleaned all that up.
Well, that's good to know, because I did have some problems with that as well.
Oh yeah, they cleaned up a lot of stuff with the way the game plays, damage. They changed damage completely. So instead of your gun doing like 1 billion damage on a shot and breaking your game, they cleaned all that stuff out.
Yeah.
So now guns don't do that much damage.
And see, that's perfect.
Don't have that much health. Yeah. And there's different. You can do the same missions, but on different difficulties. And all this. There's a lot to do. You could easily spend a week in the game, constant play, and not beat it.
Yeah, and that's nice at the same time, as long as, like, I don't know, it's weird for me. Like, it's very difficult for me, I guess, to find those types of things. But
yeah, the Division's kind of in a low right now, like Destiny was before its revival. But usually Division comes up with some DLC and it revives the game again. A bunch of people get back.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, like,
Usually.
having content spaces is a problem. Like, if Anthem fixes itself but doesn't, like, actually grow, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Like, if it doesn't constantly get that update, doesn't constantly get that stuff, that's the thing, it's a problem for me.
But see, with the Division, since you haven't played it, or it's not been on your channel, it could be a series, whatever. It could be whatever you would want to name it, a road to,
which is very true, yeah.
Greatness. It could be a whole series, you go bit by bit, however you want to cut it off. There's Dying Light 2's coming out. A lot of people are talking about that one.
See, and I don't even know anything that's going on with the games because I just don't care anymore. Like, I don't generally look at what's going on with video games anymore. I'm just like, I'll play something. I'll find something when I find something. I'm playing games that are currently 2-3 years old, and I'll pull numbers of 13, 14, 15 with them, and I'll be like, okay, there's people that want to watch Anthem. I'll play some Anthem. I mean, that's the thing. The past couple days with Anthem, I found people that want to watch Anthem. So, like, which is fine. And I can bring content to that. So, let's see. What else did you have questions on there?
I think those was it for the questions.
Yeah, those are the strong suits. That was it for your base questions. So so basically the way it looks like is the branding is based around action RPG, shooter RPGs. As well as I don't know, I love good upgrade systems. I don't know what it is. Like, a good upgrade system gets you like, just gets you spicy.
Yeah, a big thing for me is character customization.
Yeah.
Really, I'm a huge character customization.
Well, and that was the thing that made D1 so good, right? Because you could set up any build.
Yeah.
And that was nice. Which a lot of people were upset that they got rid of that idea.
Yeah, because there was a lot of meta guns, but builds were all different.
Yeah,
like,
builds were all different.
Important, especially in Trial. But now in Destiny 2, it's like, bottom tree striker Titan.
Or middle. Otherwise, there's a lot of people that run middle tree striker Titan as well.
Yeah, striker Titan, or you're gonna lose.
Well, yeah, and it's just like but then I can go into Anthem and me playing my thick boy, my Colossus. I can play that and set them up however I want to combo perfectly, but I don't get the same thing from, but somebody else can play a Storm and get their stuff to work off the way they want it to. So it's like, it can go both ways, which is really nice.
Yeah.
All right. So, some of the stuff that we need to sit down and we need to do, with coming up with a marketing plan, a social media marketing plan. And I guess this is there a spot in here for there's marketing and sales, I guess. Yeah, so I guess we could readjust marketing and sales. We could put down okay, so here, what's our stuff here? So that's Trebuchet. Let's get normal text. We're going to turn you into heading 3. All right, social media marketing plan. All right. So the first part is I'm going to underline these steps that we have to do. So step 1 is determine objectives.
Yes. But it's always good to set a goal. And then
well, let's see. Give me a second. So there's determine objectives, then there's decide platforms, optimize, boost following. I'm trying to see if there's a spot for goals built into this or not. That's get your tone right. See, so a social content calendar is something I probably really need help with, and need to do stuff with like that. Identify your influencers. I'm my own influencer. Find and create your content. Okay, posting, tracking. Yeah. So let's do first step will be goal setting. Then So what is the goal? And I guess the thing that comes with that, yo, what's up, dog? How you doing, bud? Would it fall under objectives? Yes and no, because your objectives might be produce YouTube content is the objective, but what's your goal with that? Like your goal and your objective don't always align. Like your objectives tend to help your goals.
Ending thing.
Yeah. Your objectives are the steps to get to your goal.
Yeah. It's like the small intermitting goals.
Yeah,
to reach your final goal.
It's like your quest steps to finish the entire quest are the objectives. Your objectives are the quest steps where your goal is to finish the quest. Video game wise. So fair enough. I wish you the best of luck, dog. I really do. All right, so the goal. I guess what would be the goal?
For social media as a solo thing. Let's see.
Well, and that's the marketing plan, the social media marketing plan for the company, quote unquote, the company, right? The mixer company, the streaming company, the content company that I am.
Yeah, Kilohmz Inc.
Kilohmz Incorporated.
Yes.
Although I'm kind of partial to Kilohmz LLC, but
LLC. That's the move.
Oh, that's fair. That's completely fair, Pixels. That is completely fair. My influencers might be my 1,000 true fans. That's fair. That's actually that's a great way to look about it as an influencer looking at what your who your influencers are, because your influencers are other people. It will get trashed. What do you mean it will get trashed? You have a high enough rank that's not a problem. 1,000 true fans, updated version. Oh, no, I wouldn't get deleted. It's all good. I will have to read. I'm not going to read that right now, but yeah, this is kind of the thing that you need to see right there. But thank you for that. No, and you're Pixels, you're more than welcome. If you have the time, you can jump into voice chat with us. This is basically going to be a podcast that we're making. This is going to be another podcast. Look at me. I'm making content a week ahead of time. How cool is that? It's like I'm doing a thing. So, goal setting, I guess, would be like, what's the end goal? What would be our end goal currently? Which would be what? A sustainable. Media. Well, I mean, the thing is, you're using social media to market what you're doing, right?
Yes.
So, if I'm using it to market my company, what's the end goal of my company? And that would be sustainable living.
Yes.
Would be like the long-term goal would be sustainable living and stuff like that. Now, does that mean that it's basically works as a part-time job where I can get partnered and it's part-time job for what I'm doing and it's just a supplement, or is it full-time? That's a different conversation later that can be revisited. But I think that the idea right now is just to look at the goal as like it's to help sustainable living. Is what the goal is to the quote unquote company. And that's what I'm like, I keep saying that because it's like, it's not what is your content's goal, what's the goal that you're doing with your content. This is the goal of what you're doing as a content creator. Why are you a content creator is what I think we're trying to figure out as this goal here. Like, why am I a content creator? Well, I want to be able to live, I want to have a sustainable life so I can make more content, so I can put more out there for more people to enjoy, to help them out, to raise for causes, whatever you're doing. Best to pick a number. So see, I guess, so See, that's the thing. We have an idea versus, because an idea of what it is versus what it actually is. So that's a good point as well.
Sustainable living is the ending goal, though. It's not particularly the next goal in our objective.
I know what smart is. Pixel. I'm a teacher. I know what they are. I have to do them every year. I've been dealing with smart goals for the past 7 years. I understand what they are.
It's like the ending goal of what we want to achieve. So like that would be the ultimate plan.
Yeah,
so,
but
like,
see that, what he's saying is the thing is he's right. It's not a smart goal. It is not something that sits there and goes, "Hey, this is what it is." Sustainable living's great. It actually hits the art part of it, but it's not specific or measurable, and that's problematic in the idea. The idea is to make sure that you are you're hitting that. This is the point, and that's the thing. It's the milestone, right? It's what is the current objective? What's your current prime mission? If you will, gamer speak of it. What is your quest right now? You know, because if you look at life as a game, Swedish Demon, thank you so much for the host, dude. Appreciate it. As you go through everything, as you go through life in and of itself, you have to understand that we have it's like a full game, you know, waking up in the beginning of Destiny to your ghost and then beating the black heart in the black garden and beating the heart of darkness, whatever you want to call it. That would be the entire game. So that's life to death for a human being. So right now we're trying to figure out the quest that we're on, and then we have smaller objectives within that quest that we have to do to complete the quest. So basically, using that as the idea, we are on this quest number, and what is this quest numbers thing? Well, sustainable living. So what is that? Defining sustainable living would be how much would I need to supplement into my life? How much money would I have to be making? How much would I have to supplement in to be comfortable enough to call that sustainable living? So is it enough for me to live off of totally or part-time? Currently, part-time would be the best objective goal to go for, because going for a full-time thing just doesn't make much sense. Because it's just it's not the first step. It's not the baby steps of how it works. So basically the sustainable goal could even just be partnership with a platform. Now it would have to come down to choosing what platform we're trying to go on, because it's better to objectively focus on one platform for streaming than multiple. Which is what a lot of people will tell you. So you have to sit down and come up with the idea of what is going to be that necessary goal, because being a part-time streamer, technically that would start the second you hit partnership, being a part-time streamer. So
if you want to look at it from like a business point of view, you wouldn't want your ending goal to be to just stay open. You would want to be
making profit.
Goal, you would want it to be able to be profitable, be successful, be out there. You wouldn't want to just paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. And then you can set small goals every year, every month to figure out
how can you get that growth up, which is fair, which is very true. So you have to look at the idea of, okay, at that point in time, where is that right now in a streamer's life? And so I think in a streamer's life, it's getting to affiliate. Then what do you do with affiliate to get to partnership? Then partnership is the next quest into how can you become full-time? And then from full-time to how can I get a house? How can I get enough money so that I can put away, so that I can save, so I can do, X, Y, and Z to make those measurable goals. And I think we're at the point where I've already hit affiliate ship literally on every platform I've ever wanted to. And so the next step would be getting to partnership. So partnership would be the next, would be the measurable goal, which then to define, sounds good, Gur, which then you would have to define as what is that. And on Mixer, that's a certain number of viewers, but it's so tough to decide what that is exactly. But it would be partnership with a platform. And you can get more specific once you've decided the platform, because then you know the specific minimums you have to hit to get there. Now, the thing is with Mixer, I already hit the minimums, but my viewership doesn't count in that aspect. So I have to find a way to then grow that aspect up and make that part. Because that, if I was going on Mixer, I've got to grow viewership. That's the stuff that I need. I need to be able to grow viewership on that. On Facebook, I have to grow interactions. I have to get a certain amount of interactions to get monetization. I have to get a certain amount of followers so that way I can get that interaction, because generally you only have about 1 or 2% interacting. So actually, I think the numbers I saw recently was 5 to 6% of your following on Facebook will interact. So that means that currently I will have 5 to 6 people interact in some way, shape, or form with my content, which is about true. I have between 3 to 6%, depending on the post. And so those are those interactions that go there. So it really depends on what platform. Now the question is, do we want to leave that vague where that's not super specific, which then removes the idea of measuring it. But I also don't want to choose a platform right now. I think that's a problem. So I think partnership with a platform where that is incredibly vague, I think until decided what platform it is, that is not a bad way to go, which would just be basically boosting community and increasing community size.
Yeah.
So I guess in all honesty, actually, you know what my measurable goal is, right? Which another measurable goal is for me right now. I want to be able to get a content creator pass at a con, which generally, if I look at GCX content pass currently, I'll double check it because I'll double check it currently because I want to make sure that it's the same. But when it was last that I checked, if you check for a badge application for creators, that's what I want. So yes, so Mixer and Facebook, you have to have 10,000 likes and followers. So that would mean that that's my current goal. Content pass would be 10,000 followers.
Yeah.
Followers / likes. Because those are the platforms that I'm really focusing on. Yeah, I stream on Twitch. It's not my focus though, right? So if I look at the 2 platforms I'm currently focusing on, that's my goal. That is specific, that I want to be able to get a content pass. I want to be able to go to a con as a content creator. It is measurable. I have a number that I want to hit. It's achievable. Mm-hmm. I think full well that I gain more followers than I lose. Therefore, it's an achievable, like it is definitely achievable. I'm not thinking too far out, because that would, now note, I'm not saying that this would happen in a year, but it might take 2 years for it to happen. If it's done correctly, it could happen in a year. It is achievable. I've seen people do it before. Is it realistic? Yes, I think I have a very realistic possibility of being able to do something like that. And then timely, really, it's just a matter of determining the year. So really the last thing would be, when would I like to have that done by? And when is that realistic? And technically, if I look at how my gains go, and I gain about 1,000 followers per year, that would take me, that would constantly go up, and it would take me too long to do that. Now, that's if it had steady growth. I like to believe that content creation is more of an exponential growth aspect to it. And so the more viewers, the more followers and viewers you get, the quicker it actually happens.
Yes.
So I think currently it would be realistic to say that in 2 to 3 years that should be possible. I don't know. And by the way, Pixels, I would love your input on that too, if you actually agree or disagree with that. But I'd like to think that that's a realistic goal, would be to get a content pass by 2022. I personally think that is a massive possibility, which then one of the objectives that we have to determine, if we're going to go through with objectives, one I need is, yeah, it would be by January 1st. That would be the smartest move, I think, putting that date on it. Well, actually, it would be let me put it this way. It'd be by June 1st. By June 1st. It would be by June 1st, because that would be the month. June is generally the month that GCX happens, so I'm sure that I'd have to have it in by then. So that would be like the last chance, would be like June 1st is the last chance to be able to turn that thing in, right? To turn in that application. So that would be where I would say. I'd say by June 1st, 2022. That's 2.5 years.
Yep.
I think that's completely realistic and plausible. And if I can get my head out of my freaking butt, I think it would happen sooner.
And it has to be done through Facebook, not Mixer?
Facebook or Mixer. If it's on Mixer, I have to get 10,000 follows. If it's on Facebook, I have to get 10,000 likes, which I think is a little weird because I actually have more followers than I have likes. So it's a weird thing I think I'd have to talk to them about specifically during that time. But, so the thing is, to determine objectives, the way I have to do that is I have to diversify content.
Mm-hmm.
I should probably use uppercases. Which that means YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook.
The real hard thing about these marketing plans for streams is a stream is free. So it's impossible to gauge on a supply and demand curve on what your total viewership should be and would be, because
you have to be able to decide how valuable your content is.
Yeah, it's a free service. It's not, if you did it on a supply and demand curve, you would just get the maximum number each time because it's free. The most people want it to be free, but that's just not how it works because it doesn't have a price on it.
And then I'm going to put on stream service, if not Facebook. So that would be the things would be that I need to be posting to YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and a stream service, if not Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So objectives currently are our mini goals. There are quest steps if we're going to go by the gaming logic. That could be one of the objectives is become partner with a game, because that could help increase my chances of doing that. So yeah, I think partnering with a game I love. I'm going to change I to kill. Just because Jacob reads this, and I'm sure that we share it around to other people. So I've definitely shared it to other people. So yeah, partnering with a game that I love would be amazing. Like, so, I could look at stuff like Anthem. How much is it to do stuff with them? How could I partner or go to a Destiny reveal, right? Like, how could I get myself invited to go to a Bungie reveal? Or working with a game like, well, I don't really want to say that Warframe, but like, how could I work with like Nintendo on something like that would be a great way to go about it. And that's very true. And the same goes with getting partnerships with companies.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it would almost be easier to be partnered with a company than a game. Especially when it's up and coming.
I wish you the best of luck with that, Whisper. I think that's a little bit harder because of corporation stuff. I say go for it. I think you'd be better off talking to a local game shop, though. See, that's the other thing. I could talk to a local game shop, but I don't have any. Because that's the thing is, how could you promote a game shop and they play your content for you? That's a partnership deal that you can work with.
GameStop playing your thing on like their TVs?
Yes, but not GameStop because they're corporate name. GameStop, Target, Walmart, all of those things are corporate names, and you would have a very hard time getting to work with them specifically. If you're as I said, if you're a blossoming streamer or content creator.
If you were Shroud or Doc.
Yes, I could probably very easily get on that, but I'm not.
I think the best ones would have been like Starport for us.
Yes.
Would have been the best.
Yeah. Well, it would have, but he didn't believe it. Untamed Worlds would have been the best one for us while he was in business.
Yeah.
Because he focuses on so much more and was never narrow-minded about the stuff that he'd be willing to do. So, but I also knew the owner very well and actually had my business cards on his front counter. So there was also that. He let me, I was like, oh, cramp in my leg. Oh,
That's not good.
it's right in the back of my thigh. Oh, okay. So what would be some other objectives?
So
I think we also need to make sure that we have some small stuff, like diversifying content's great, but I think we need to have small objectives as well. And I don't necessarily mean like timed objectives of like, oh, I want to have this many followers or this many likes by this time. I think having just a other smaller obtainable goals like that would be good, you know.
Yeah.
Well, like here's an objective that I want to get off. Podcast stays consistent. I want my podcast to stay consistent. I want it to be good content. I want it to be worthwhile. I want people to get value out of what I'm doing. So I want to be able to stay consistent with it, which is a small objective that can help the final goal. Because I think having some of these smaller goals to achieve also helps you snowball your effects and help you build your confidence to be able to do better things. It's a lot easier for me to have my students work on AP problems so I feel better about them taking AP tests.
Well, if you have goals and your objectives and you're, smashing those objectives, it's going to help you because you're going to be like, okay, we're doing something. I'm achieving the goals that I set for myself. So it'll help you as a person as well.
Well, and then that's the other thing is, here's another objective. Do you say that you should utilize Facebook marketing, which would basically be paying for ads? Do you utilize that? Is that a good idea or a bad idea? Because some people might view it as you're paying for views, you're paying for likes, you're paying for content. Whereas others, like I would say go for it personally. I think that that's not a bad objective to add, to make sure that you can have that built into your budget to be able to promote yourself that way, because the people that might be interested in your content might not be able to see your content.
Nope.
And so you've got to make sure that they're able to see it as well.
There's a lot of people who are able to get the views and stuff that they need without having to pay money, and it's really hard to do though.
Oh, it is. I think that's the other thing though. That's what comes with the diversifying content and working with different companies and games, and orgs and stuff like that. All right. So do we want to have more objectives, or do we want that to be it? Chat, you're more than welcome to put in your influence as well and tell me what you think. Do it up, dude. Do it up, Whisper. Shoot the shot. Oh my gosh. Shoot the shot. What's the worst they say? No? Oh darn. Oh darn. They say no.
I'm trying to think if there would be like a way to network yourself through something like LinkedIn, but wouldn't you need like it to be you and not? You could do you.
You could use LinkedIn and you could do stuff like that. It's just tougher. Well, it's not tougher. LinkedIn's actually a very, if you can bring value to LinkedIn, you'll get boom, instant. It goes crazy. Networking with other streamers who have similar goals. I'm going to call that finding like-minded partners. That's awesome, Farcrom. I agree with that. Finding like-minded partners is a great thing. It's a great idea to have with it. That's very true. Finding people that have similar mindsets and similar goals to help work with each other and network that way and build off of each other. That's a great idea. Do we want to...
You want to surround yourself with people who also want to succeed. You don't want to surround yourself.
Well, yes. Yeah, and that's it's like a day-to-day of keep a positive mental attitude. It's keep positivity, but that shouldn't be an objective in my opinion. That's just me though.
No, that's just a personal kind of
goal,
all right. Not really a.
Yeah. And
partners.
all right, so I think that's good for now. We can move a little bit for now from that, right? So then the next thing would be decide your platforms, which I think in our objective we kind of did. So, so decided platforms, which would be YouTube,
Facebook, Mixer,
TikTok,
YouTube,
Twitter, Insta, Facebook, Mixer. Yeah, those would be the ones I would use personally. So those are the decided platforms. Sweet. So then next would be optimizing. So the next step is optimize profiles and pages. Which is something I think you and I need to sit down and we just need to go through all my pages and make sure they're accurate and good. And they have like optimized headers and profile images, complete company info. Make sure I am using a customized Facebook page. I don't know what I gotta learn what a CTA is. And SEO, like I gotta learn what those things mean. Pin your best content. I think we do need to go back through my Facebook one and redo my content. And then page tabs. I don't even know how to do Facebook page tabs. That sounds awesome. So there's stuff that I need to learn to do as well. And then see, the next thing is boosting the following. And I think that's really where the marketing aspect comes.
Did you say CTA?
Yeah.
That's just call to act.
All right. SEO is search engine optimization, like making a Wikipedia page that says Kilohmz, for instance. Okay. So stuff like that. So then that's stuff that I think we need to sit down and look at too. Because I also have a website, right? Like I have a website that has SEO built in and I don't know how to use it perfectly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So boosting your following. And I think this is really where the plan kind of needs to go. And this is where we need to sit down. We need to figure out how, because the way that's given in the stuff that we're looking at is like sweepstakes, hashtag contests, referral promotions, photo contests. I think photo contests is a really good one. I like the idea of doing stuff like photo contests. Only because like you can showcase stuff and like have fun selfies and stuff like that, right? So I think that photo contests are a really cool idea. I personally think that. Oh, to learn more, so clickable stuff. Okay, good to know. So yeah, I'd have to figure out how to do that stuff properly. But so call to action, and then there's also social media contest prizes. Like they give you ideas for prizes and stuff like that. I don't like the idea of giveaways. I feel like it can build hollow brands. Personally, if you use a lot of giveaways and stuff like that. So I think that it's kind of figuring out how to do that stuff at all. Send me a selfie in the DMs real quick, Pixel, and I'll let you know. How about that? Because I want to see how you look currently, because I can imagine you with a beard, but I want to see it.
I'm gonna say beard.
I generally go towards beard, but I want to see just so I can know. So that's the other thing. So follow contests, providing insightful content. And by insightful content, I mean that's interactive, that is useful to people, stuff like that. Yo, Farcrum, welcome to the Penguin Posse. You're a beautiful person, I love your face. Thanks so much for the crispy follow, my dude. I think also providing worth is another big thing. Being able to provide worth in your posts and being able to help people with that worth. So making sure that the content they're viewing actually is helpful and does something for them is a big deal. To building following. Again, my 2 cents. And then I guess the next part would be figuring out brand, which is where some of the other stuff comes in that we've been talking about, right? So this comes in with the archetypes. So my brand is like a hero, is a quote unquote hero brand. And what they mean by a hero brand, if you look at like the brand archetypes of this thing that I looked at, it honestly was just it was a random thing to help me trying to figure out an idea of where my brand goes, right? It's like looking at where I can do stuff and what I can do and looking at these archetypes, because the email I got, I am a hero. What was the second one? The second one I forgot. I'm a hero, an everyman, and a lover. So I would say the hero, everyman, and the lover brand. And basically, I should probably go and define each of those in here so I don't have to constantly look for what I'm doing, right? Because that'd be smart. So hero brand is the hero brand is striving to help others.
So for boosting your following, I added be a point of reference.
Yes.
So you want to be able to be someone where it's like, oh, I don't know how to do this, and like, oh, go to this dude Kilohmz, he knows how to do this. That's who you want to. You kind of want to be able to be something like a point of reference for something. Like if you had to YouTube something, how to do something like a tutorial in a game or a tutorial for streaming or YouTube or something, you want to be like a point of reference that people can use to get your name out there. That'll be like, oh, look at this person's stuff. Look at this person's.
Yeah.
That helps you out a lot. Now, I'm not sure how useful that is for like social media, but for YouTube especially, YouTube would be.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
Big one for that is being a point of reference.
Being point of reference and having niche, having your niche, which is basically figuring out your brand and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's the big thing, is understanding that those three parts of my brand. So basically, I took a little test and I got a little lazy towards the end, but with what it was saying, it fits pretty well with how my personality is it's striving to help others, making others feel like they belong, and building long-lasting relationships are the takeaways from those three things. And so making sure that my stuff goes on brand. Now, another thing that I actually talked about on Twitter with somebody was actually talking about brand, and one of the things that I should do is come up with a bunch of adjectives that follow into my brand, right? So talking about those things that fall and make my brand, that describes my brand. And if I'm going to post something, if it fits with one of those, then I need to post it. And I think that that's a big thing as well. Oh, hey, look, there's pixels. So yeah, so not everything you post has to be on brand, but it helps to be somewhat consistent. What helped me was writing down every keyword I could think of that describes my overall brand I'm building. Then when I tweet, I think about whether the content relates to one of those brands. That's true too. And I think I have a very story. Would you say, Pixel, that I fit into a story brand for podcast? Just out of curiosity, because I think it's helping me to, I think a lot of this that I'm doing is actually helping me figure this stuff out, but, and so I think the thing is now, so that's going to be one of the things that we put under there, is figuring out the keywords that are on brand. That's, I think, a great takeaway to talk about and stuff like that. Fair enough. Another thing that somebody said that goes with brand stuff is, what's your one sentence?
Your mission statement.
What's your one line?
Mm-hmm.
And so I made a joke, but my other one was family, charity, and giving back. And I was told to expand on that. Family, charity, and giving back was the most on-brand sentence I could come up with.
Well, so it's like a mission statement.
Yeah.
For a company, right? That's what you would be looking for. So like, if you want some point of reference,
I would agree, as a joke. As a joke, it would be get that bread. But the problem is people have also connected the word bread to money. So it makes it seem like I'm just being a money beggar and trying to grub for money, which is a problem. Where it's not just like getting what you're working for and working hard for something and getting there. It's much more than just that, right? It's what this brand is, what I'm building as Kilohmz, is that family, charity, and giving back aspect. And so it's kind of figuring out how can I talk about the hero everyman lover, which sounds like such a terrible thing to say, but how can I work with those three aspects of who I am as a person and who I want my brand to be to make that come out. And that's the biggest thing, I think, is figuring out how can I make that mission statement that fits that. And so I think that's another thing that needs to be done as well, is figuring out a mission statement.
Yeah, so like Nike's vision and mission statement is to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. So that's like a good example on how you can do yours. Not,
yeah, no, world, I understand, but like
your charity and your, let's see.
So, what I just wrote, sorry, I got very quiet for that. It's going to suck for a podcast. It's like, oh, hey, you got quiet for 30 seconds. So I'm saying to build a community that is as close as a family and inspires others to give back and help through charitable causes.
Yeah.
Which isn't the best. I don't think it's quite there, but I like that as a placeholder for right now. I think that describes very much what I want. I want to be able to inspire others to help give back in what way they can, and charitable being as in being able to do it to help just for the pure cause of helping. I'm not necessarily saying that I want to inspire people to go out and just do charity work, but like if somebody asks for help, if somebody comes up to you not being like, well, I'll charge you for this help or whatever, like just willing to give out help, give out knowledge, and expand and help others' horizons in all the things that they do.
Yes.
I think that's kind of where I'm at with that aspect of the mission statement. The next thing, well, let's say get your tone right, which is that. So then the next thing we need to do is make a posting calendar. Basically coming up with when are we going to post what are we going to do this day, what are we going to do this day. Basically just actually like making a spreadsheet, which if you see I know it's hard to see the spreadsheet that's here, but basically making something that's talking about the time, what day, what are we going to do during these times, when stuff going to get posted, when are you going to look at your email, basically planning these different things so that way you can talk about the objective, what you want posted, so we can actually build this calendar, build something to actually help out and get others to do things like that. So I'm going to copy the image address and send it to you because I'd like maybe before you go to bed while I'm still streaming, I have you kind of work on coming up with something that's similar. If you're willing to. Fine. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Then identify your influencers. And I think that right there, I would love that, bud. I would love that so much. I think identifying influencers right now would basically be the idea. And I'm going to have to read the thing that that Pixel sent me, but the 1,000 true fans would be your influencers. And the idea, just based off the title, basically means that the people that are always going to be there no matter what are basically your influencers, and understanding how to work with them and make sure that they're comfortable in what they're doing and everything like that, so that way they can continue to do good and great things, and they're helping expand the brand because they're talking about you, like you said, right? Being a point of reference. They're using me as a reference because they believe in my content.
Yep.
And that's a big aspect of it.
Source.
Yes. Sorry, I've got to keep going quickly because we are running out of time very quickly. And then find and create content. And what this is going to be is what Pixel and I talked about last night. List of 100 video ideas, posts, etc. Stuff that I can put out there, and that before I really continue to go gung-ho on my YouTube, I need to sit down and come up with 100 video ideas, which I still need some clarification from him on for some things, but it's still under that same exact aspect of finding and creating your content is being able to come up with that stuff that fits your brand, that does what you want it to do, and all of that stuff. And coming up with those different... And now, I say post as just an idea, but, no, it wasn't clear, Pixel. Getting an ellipses does not help me to know what your idea of that is. Oh, you said yes? So yes, they do count. It was the ... that threw me off. So yes, they would count as separate things. So are they count? See, that's the thing. I asked technically 2 questions. Was it because of the way I asked it that makes it confusing? And see, that's a better understanding in the answer, Pixels. It's the second option. I gave him basically 2 options. I was like, does the podcast count as one idea as a whole, or does it count as the topics? Or would I need to come up with the topics one by one? And basically counting it as like a thing. So I get that. Okay. Makes sense. Yes, I did. I reiterated what he said. He's used to it. So coming up with long lasting ideas. Yes. Curated content. Interesting. Curated content is the stuff you find which is relevant to the business. But okay, created content. Posting is just finding your posting times. What times work best for your posting?
I mean, I think our typical time that we have now is a pretty good time. It's after everybody's off work for the most part.
Yeah.
Before everybody goes to bed. So
yeah, it's figuring out though, like, when's the best time to post and do that stuff, and like basically finding out when do you get the most engagement and stuff like that. That's another thing. And then tracking is basically just keeping up with it. And so tracking is just going to be the keeping up with what works over a period of time and what doesn't. Does posting at this time work? Does posting not at this time work? What works? What doesn't? What gets you the stuff that you need? What creates your content? What continues to make it grow? Those are the things that I think goes with tracking. And then the last part they say is automate. I actually disagree with that step. I don't think that you should necessarily. I think now if I said straight up, saying automate, necessarily making sure that you can plan plan posts. I think that's a better way to say it. Plan posts would be a better way. So basically they planned in advance would be the idea behind that. I don't know if this is on topic or if it's in the plan, but there's evergreen content. For instance, the TWAB was not evergreen, it's weekly. Evergreen is a video/post that people can come back to for a year or more. Okay, so basically creating content, one of the things that might go under that is creating evergreen, in parentheses, long-lasting content and then also creating short-term content. Because both would be useful. Because the thing is, the podcast is evergreen content. I think that the podcast, and again, evergreenish. I'll say evergreenish because anything that's been said in the podcast, trends can change, marketing can change, somebody can have a breakthrough to the human psyche and learn how to do things differently. Different technology can come out, but as of how the future is envisioned, it could last for months to years. Whereas talking about a review of a gun only lasts until the next update.
Yep, because it gets nerfed.
Yeah, nerfed or buffed or whatever. It gets changed. Yep. And so that would be temporary in that aspect. But a podcast and stuff like that is a great way to go about it. And evergreen is branded. So this is from Pixels, guys. Of course, those that aren't watching and can't see it pop up. Is that evergreen is like brand content and story/streams are temporary, but community building. So you have temporary content to build community, and an idea under that would be doing game nights, questions and answers, after podcasts, movie nights, stuff like that. That is community building and is content or something that you're bringing to your community that helps build it and gets it closer together. And then your evergreen content is provides value long past posting, branded
would there be
content.
any way for you to be sponsored by where you're able to provide like a discount code or something like that in terms of because there's people I know who stream and they'll have like a discount code for buying coins in a game or things like that. If you're able to get some sort of sponsorship where you're able to provide your community with something whenever the community wants it, it's like a passive thing. Like, this is always going to be here.
Yeah.
If you want to do this, this is you. It's not like an incentivized thing. It's not like, well, if you're in chat 10 hours, you'll get this. It's like a passive thing where if you're here or if you're a follower, you can get this. I would say.
Well, it's also just like me sitting down and being like, oh, hey, everybody that's been hanging out here, there's 5 stream loot chests. If you get it, you get it. Best of luck. Here you go. And it's putting out stuff like that. Yeah, and I get that. At least I think I get what I think I'm understanding what you're saying.
It's just like a passive benefit that anybody could have.
And that's that kind of temporary is like that passive stuff where the evergreens definitely, Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, at this point in time, guys, we got to end the podcast because we're already well over an hour, and I don't know if that is actually going to get updated. But I might have to go and edit some of it. That being said, Jacob, thank you for coming on with me. I'm going to get you to come back at some point in time so we can revisit this, so we can talk more about the marketing and aspects of it, either through myself or with others. So
let me get those marketing classes under my belt.
Exactly.
Then we'll be in business.
So that all being said, I hope you guys have a great time, stay awesome, and do great things. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you guys would like to comment, please comment down below on the YouTube video. Please send me a tweet at mindofkill. I would love to talk to you guys about this more. That all being said, have a great day, stay awesome, do great things. I'll see you guys next time. Adios.